Today I'm going to share with you a story that's deeply personal to me. Have you ever received a feedback that makes you want to shrink? It makes you want to shrink your voice, shrink your ambition, and shrink who you are. That moment when your stomach drops and your chest tightens, and just a simple comment seems like it's defining your entire worth. If that ever happened to you, you are not alone. In the year 2008, I became a mother for the first time. And like many new mothers, I was overwhelmed with joy, but also with exhaustion and uncertainty, not knowing what ahead of me and whether I up to the task. A few weeks into maternity leave, I returned to work. Just 2 weeks later after that, my boss called me into a meeting room for a performance review. And he asked me to rank myself among all the team members. When I refused to do that, he proceeded to tell me that, Thanh, you are currently at the bottom of our team. I was stunned. I didn't know how to respond. And he continued on and he said, you're too stupid to be an engineer. You should throw your degree away. I can still see his face and hear those words. I had graduated from one of the best universities in the country in engineering. I've gone to a school for gifted students back in Vietnam. And yet I believe him. I was too exhausted to know what to feel or how to respond. I broke down crying in that meeting room. And he proceeded to say something more. He said, you're too emotional to be in this field. That almost broke my career. I almost dropped everything and just give up. You know, I'm already questioning everything. Am I still a good mom when I drop my crying baby at the daycare? Am I still good enough to be an engineer when I get the brain fog in my head? Can I still go to work when I walk around the office as a zombie? I almost gave up everything. You know, criticism is really hard because it hit you on two different levels. It hit you on the emotional level. It questioned whether you still belong, whether you still love and value. It's also questioned, it hit you on the logic level. Whether am I good enough? Am I still capable of doing what I needed to do? It's like a punch, a double punch. It hit you again and again. And many of us, when we face with the criticism, we can't lean in. We lean back and we shrink. Late in the night, I was holding my baby daughter, and I was crying and questioning whether I would go back to work the next day. And I looked at her sleeping in my arm, and I asked myself this question: if this situation happened to my daughter, how would I want her to respond? And the answer comes really easy. I want her to fight. I want her to fight. And yes, she can choose whatever path she wants. She can choose to quit. That's okay. But it has to be done on her own term, not after she receives a negative criticism. And at that moment, the voice of my mentor sounded in my head. Thanh, everything worthwhile is uphill. And the minute that you stop growing, you start dying. I started looking at the feedback and asked myself, is there any truth in his feedback? And yes, there's some truth. I've tried so hard when I first came to America to graduate, to survive, to succeed. So when I landed my first high-paying job, I thought I was done. And I could relax. So I was meeting all the deliverable, but I wasn't growing. I wasn't putting in the extra miles. And so I asked myself, what can I do different? I went back to school, and within 4 years, I got 2 master's degrees. One is in engineering, and the other is in business administration. I started learning how to speak up in a meeting. I started joining Toastmasters, and I represent my company at conference and talking to customers. And the best thing is, the day that I walk across the stage, my children decorate the cap for me. They put Olaf on top of the cap so that they say to give mom some extra inches on stage. And I walk across the stage down in the audience, my two children standing on their chairs, cheering on to me, my 2-year-old son, William, and my 4-year-old daughter, Valerie. They were screaming, "Mom, go, Mom." And I walked across the stage and I did a dance because I wanted to let them know that Mom is so proud of you. You have helped Mom become who she wants to be, just as they are proud of me. You know, think of the most successful and most confident person you ever met in your life. They're successful and they're confident not because they never got any negative criticism. They're successful and confident because they learn how to face criticism, learn from it, and grow from it. They use criticism as a launching back to success, to more confidence. I have 3 steps that would help you the next time you're faced with a criticism. Step number 1 is to find a safe space to vent. We're all human, so when we hear something negative about us, we're gonna feel emotion. That's normal. So find somebody that you trust, your mentor, your counselor, your spouse, or a trusted friend, and vent it to them and say, "I just wanted to vent." But do not do it in your organization or in the company. Because when we're emotional, we may say something that we regret, we may hurt somebody unintentionally. So find a safe place to vent. And step 2 is to think of all the feedback that you receive. Put them into 3 buckets. Bucket number 1 is, is this feedback true or not? Like when my boss was saying that I was too stupid to be an engineer or I was too emotional to be an engineer, those are not true. So when the feedback isn't true, learn to ignore that. Don't carry the weight with you when it's not yours to carry. Like Kenny was telling me during the break that a professor told his son that he wasn't smart enough to be in the class. You know, you're going to get all these harsh, biased criticism in your career, in your life. They are harsh, but they would not affect you as much as what you're telling yourself. So if the criticism isn't true, then just drop that weight. The bucket number 2 is think about, is there any truth? No matter how small, is there any truth in the criticism? And then decide, what am I going to do about it to improve? And bucket number 3 is a gray area, where the criticism may not be true, but it may be a perception. You can decide what to do about that. You can come back to the person to clarify. You can change how you act or behave so that you can clarify, adjust the perception. You know, Viktor Frankl says something that's really powerful. He said that between a stimulus and a response lies a space. And in that space is your power to choose how you respond. And in your response is your growth and your freedom. So the next time you face with the criticism, give you that space to evaluate, to reflect, and grow from it. I want to ask you now, is there any area in your life, where in your life that you've been shrinking because of something that someone has said to you? What might happen if you stop letting that moment define you? You know, feedback is just a moment in time. It's just information. It's not a verdict of your worth. Don't let a moment in time define your entire journey. Because the world doesn't need a smaller version of you. It needs you at your best. Confident, courageous, unapologetically alive. Unshrink yourself. It's not just for you, but it's for the future generation. Just like my children watch me unshrink myself on that stage, the future generation are watching you to give them the permission to unshrink themselves. And I have one ask of you. If you know anybody that need a boost in confidence, that need to know that they can unshrink themselves, let them know about my latest book, Unshrink Yourself. I share this story in this book and many other stories. Because my hope is all of us will unshrink ourselves and bring our best to our world. Thank you.